Hey everybody, Mike Winter with Hillside Properties, once again with some weekly conversations, the kinds of conversations I'm having with people every day, stuff that I want to pass along because I run into too many people that when I have this conversation with them, they're surprised. It's information that they're not aware of or they're not up to date on or up to speed on. Today I want to talk about capital gains taxes when it comes to selling real estate, really anywhere in the country, but this relates specifically to California. Capital gains is a tax that's charged by probably not all states, but definitely by the state of California, but also by the IRS on any gain that's realized, especially long-term capital gains is what we're talking about, for a home that's purchased and over time it gains value. And if you got a profit or a gain from a home that you've purchased and then are getting ready to sell or thinking about selling, you want to understand capital gains taxes because they can factor into what you're actually going to realize or get out of the sale of a home. Now, there's people in the state of California right now that have owned a home for 20 years or more than 20 years, and it's likely that the value of that home has tripled. It could even be that the value of that home has quadrupled or even quintupled. There's plenty of homes in San Diego County that were sold in 1999, were sold in the year 2000, were sold in the year 2002 for $300,000, $400,000, and that are now worth $1.5 million. That'd actually be somewhat common, depending on where that home is or what type of a home it is. And so there's a significant gain with those homes. And as people look at homes that they've maybe gained $1 million worth of value in, you definitely want to understand that the IRS in the state of California is going to expect to collect significant taxes from that gain. Now, capital gains taxes, depending on what tax bracket you're in, could be as much as anywhere from 33%, I think is where it probably tops out at right now. And that's a lot. Boy, if you purchased a home for $500,000 and you're selling it for $1.5 million, that's a $1 million gain. And before you go spending all $1 million of that, realize that capital gains tax could take away $300,000 of that money or more if you've got a gain. Now, if that's a home that is not your primary residence, it's a home that you don't live in anymore, and it's a home that you haven't lived in for quite a while, you may not have any exemptions. You may not be able to avoid paying those capital gains. And so there's other strategies for how to defer or delay paying those taxes or how to avoid those taxes altogether. Plenty of legal ways to do that. If that's the boat that you're in, let's talk so we can help to strategize. If you're thinking about selling a property like that, we need to talk before you pull the trigger so that you don't end up paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes that you don't need to pay. Now, if that home is your primary residence, it's the home that you've lived in for 2 of the last 5 years, then there's actually a significant exemption that you can take advantage of. And that exemption for a married couple is $500,000 worth of gain. So $500,000 of that gain, in our scenario, you have $1 million gain. Well, half of that is tax exempt. You don't pay any capital gains tax at all. And that could be a significant savings for you. So you just want to be aware of what's going on here, both federally and in the state, case of the state taxes, what you might pay in capital gains before you start imagining where you're going to go or what you're going to buy next or where you're going to land next. If you're not real familiar with these items, you need to talk to an expert. And that could be a CPA, it could be a tax attorney, it also could be a realtor that's familiar with these types of things. I'm one of those real estate brokers, pretty familiar with this stuff, been doing this for nearly 25 years now, and would love to help you strategize about your next move, where you're going to go. Maybe a good idea is to not sell the home that you're thinking of selling. You don't need to sell it right away in order to avoid those capital gains taxes. There's lots of strategies that you can use. But we're talking about, at least here in Southern California, usually pretty big money, because people that have owned homes for 10, 15, or 20 years, they've got a lot of gain. And they've got a lot to gain by talking to somebody like me that can help them avoid taxes legitimately when they don't need to be paying them. So if this is a conversation that you'd like to have in person, I'd love to talk with you about your specific situation so that we can understand how to take best advantage of the exemptions that are available to you. Hope this helps. Looking forward to conversations from you or people that you know. Have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.